It says I'm on air. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. If you've been with me for the last hour, hello again. Long time no see. If you're just joining me, you're here for a really awesome Mabon ritual. And I'm really excited because this is the first time I'm doing this ritual with my sabbatical sisters. I'm very excited about it. I have done this ritual before, long time ago, actually. And I did this ritual once with my students, my university students, which is really fun. Different context, but same concept. And you know what's really funny is I keep in touch with all my university students on Facebook, and a lot of them will still write to me and say, you know, that hourglass ritual that you did with us was really powerful, one of the more powerful ones that I experienced in school. And I love that. I love that they still remember it after all these years. So thank you. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it. If you weren't with me last hour, I should tell you I have a fever and I don't feel good. So, but I'm powering on through like a little trooper. And I'm going to go home and go to bed after this. And I've given my poor fever to everybody I know. I feel terrible. My kid's nanny has the fever. My staff has the fever. He's got the fever. But I am here. So let's talk about tools. So you do need to have, you don't need to have it, but I would love for you to have an hourglass. Even if you don't have one, here's what I want you to do. Are you ready? I want you to draw one. I want you to draw an hourglass. That may sound like the weirdest thing I've ever told you to do, but then you can still flip it with us. Can you do that? I know. I want you to draw it. So I want you to draw, this is the little one. I have my Big Mama one here. Had it, there it is. Big Mama hourglass is here. My big Home Goods hourglass. I want you to have something that you can turn. Good. Haley has an hourglass. Even if you don't have the kit, you have an hourglass. And if you don't have an hourglass, Erin is going to draw hers right now. It's going to be really good, and she's going to flip it. You know what's interesting? You know what the dorji is, right? The Vajra. You guys know what the dorji is? I have one on the altar across the room. It is in a lot of Eastern cultures, it's considered to be like the most important sign or symbol of protection that they have to work with. It's a tool. I've sold them in the shop before. Do you know that there are families in Malaysia, for example, who can't afford to buy a dorji or a vajra because they're expensive? I mean, not hugely expensive, but it's still an investment. So do you know what they do? They draw a vajra. They draw a dorji and put it on their altar. Because it is believed that is such a powerful and sacred symbol. Even if you just draw it, the energy is the same as if you had the actual like tool on your altar. Is that cool? There's power in drawing. So if you ever don't have a tool but really wish you did, like an hourglass, I think you can draw it. If you don't have a dorji or a vajra, you can draw it. And a lot of families do that and keep it on their like family altar or their entry table. I love the concept of that. Okay, so I have smudged. Very cool, right? Yeah, you know what, Heather? I mean, the Vajra, sorry about that, I have a hair on my lip. The Vajra is an hourglass of sorts, I would say. So yeah, can you flip your dorji or your Vajra? You sure can. I think that's a great idea. Love that you have your Mabon incense. I've been burning mine here today too in my little cauldron. I have Mabon perfume right here, which I love. And it's funny because I've been working with, by the way, I should tell you, probably the best perfume I've made in the last month is Universal Peace. Now, I feel bad telling you that. These are the Peace perfumes that went live today. They're all beautiful. I made Inner Peace, World Peace, Universal Peace. But if there's only one that you're going to get, and there is a drop down, so you can just choose one, don't miss Universal Peace. I'm not going to make more once it's over because it was sort of a special thing for International Peace Day. I highly recommend that you go and get Universal Peace. And I told my team that too, so they're telling other customers too. So I think what's going to happen is Universal Peace is going to sell out. The other ones are beautiful. They're just not unique. Universal, I mean, they're floral, and then World Peace has sort of like fir and other woods in it, so it's kind of woodsy. But Universal Peace is crazy good, like beautiful good. So this is Mabon. Mabon is just, you know, a perfect seasonal scent. It does have some really complex notes in it, so it dries down to a really grounding, beautiful agar wood. So Mabon has some very special notes in it. I'm really glad that you like Mabon because I love it too. I tried to make Mabon something that you would want to use almost all year long and not just, for 1 month out of the year. I'm a pumpkin person too, and I love it, but I wanted something that had spice but a little bit of depth to it, so I'm really glad that you're enjoying it. And then I have my 2 stones, obsidian and howlite, which was the duo that came with your Mabon kit. I'm going to put my hourglass down here, and then the beautiful candle. Beautiful candle. I'm importing agar wood essential oil because I want to make an agar wood perfume, a pure agar wood. It's almost as expensive as Blue Lotus essential oil. It was funny, one of the girls who works here was in the back and she was holding the container of the Blue Lotus essential oil, and somehow somebody said something like, how much does this stuff cost again? And I told her, I think it's $2,100 for 16 ounces. And the poor girl almost just dropped it. She was like, ah! I said, well, maybe I should tell you to put it down next time before I tell you the price of the bottle. Okay, so the stones are obsidian and howlite. Obsidian and howlite. You may have gotten onyx instead of obsidian. Yeah, I finally found a place that I trust it'll be real. Because when you import essential oils from India, for example, you have to be really careful. They're not all authentic. And so I'm building these relationships with people that I'm starting to trust to send me good stuff. And so I finally found a source for agar wood, which I have wanted forever. Agar wood is so, so, so sacred. I mean, it's considered to be that it clears every negative energy out of a space, that it calls in divine blessings. Agar wood is thought to do it all. Like everything. So I really want to carry it and make a perfume out of it. Okay, so let's talk about Mabon. So Mabon is technically tomorrow, but we are within the 24-hour period. So this is a perfect time to be celebrating, and I love this. I should tell you, to get you excited, you need to save the date. So I'm doing Elder Council next month on Samhain Eve. Are you ready for that? On October 30th, I am doing Elder Council. I have never done Elder Council with a thin veil before. When I looked at the calendar today and I was like, I'm really feeling the call. I'm really feeling the call to do a drum journey for Elder Council on Samhain Eve. I had like full body goosebumps. Next month's gonna be pretty special. I am really excited about it. So stay tuned for that. But Mabon is equally special. So when I was in Hogwarts learning how to do all the witchy things, we made a big deal out of Mabon. And I remember the high priestess who was training us telling us that Mabon gets overlooked. Mabon gets overlooked, and it's partly because it's so close to Halloween, and we've just come off of Lammas, and so this for her anyway, this fall harvest, this early harvest, this early Thanksgiving, often got overlooked in the pagan wheel, and so for her it was a really, really important time. Yeah, the Elder Council drum journey on Samhain Eve is only for Sabbatical. It is private for our group. It's going to be really good. I can feel it as soon as I wrote that down today. It was like my whole body just went like goosebumps all over. It was kind of like Hogwarts. I have to say, it wasn't that different. Okay, so she made us, the high priestess made us do, even deeper ritual, more planning, because she really wanted us to internalize the magic of Mabon, and it has stayed with me. Lisa's asking a good question, and the answer is I don't know yet. I was thinking I would do it from home, so let me stay tuned there. So where did I learn? So I had joined a coven in Los Angeles where they had a priestess initiate program, and it was 2 years to work up to be initiated into this coven. And so I did it for, I want to say 18 months. It might have been a little closer to 20 months, and it was very expensive. I always tell you, like, I know Sabbatical seems like it's very expensive. That program was like, I don't even remember, it was thousands of dollars a year. And you had to apply to get in. So even if you had the money, it didn't mean that you could get in. And then you were tested every month. So you had to draw. They used to give us calendars. I feel like an old person telling you this. They used to give us calendars, like the calendars that you fill in the days. And you would have to, without looking, draw out all the moon phases, including the glyphs for all the signs and the times when the moon would transit or be void of course. And if it wasn't 100% correct, you got one more chance to do it, and then you were not allowed to continue. It was like that serious. Well, it taught me a lot. I mean, we had to write our own tables of correspondences. We had to write our own rituals for all the holidays. We had to write our own spells for all the things. I mean, it was very intense and in depth. It was, and so at the time, I remember my mom saying, you know, shouldn't you go to college? And I was like, I kind of am. Just not for anything important, of course, but to her anyway. But it was very intense. And I still have all of my calendars with all of my glyphs and all of that. I kept all that. I wonder what Zoe will think one day when she sees, I mean, all my handwritten notes and all of everything. So they would tell us, okay, Thursday. And we had to know the goddess of Thursday, the power number of Thursday, the tarot card associated with Thursday, the root of the word Thursday, and what language that came from. We had to know what color for Thursday, what astrological sign, because each day of the week has an astrological correspondence. So it was really stressful. So even now when people say, I don't know, what do you think about Friday? I'm like, in my mind, I'm like thinking about the goddess and the color of the day and the gemstone and the number and the my brain never stopped after all these years. But a lot of people are like, God, how do you know all this stuff? You're like an encyclopedia. And I have that program to think because it really was very rigorous. And people have asked me to teach something like that. I have to tell you that I think it's good to have something like that, but I don't know that it's necessarily what you need. I mean, unless you want to have just an encyclopedic knowledge of all this stuff. And I think you can sort of force yourself to gain that. I don't think you have to have somebody standing over you with a marking pen to correct your homework. I think you can decide, no, I'm going to really be rigorous and do it that way. The last book I'm going to write, which will probably be 2 years from now, will have all of that in it. So I'm hoping to create an encyclopedia of magic. But that's the book that's going to take the longest, I think. Well, I appreciate that. I know I should turn them into art of some kind. Zoe will probably make something out of them one day. So Mabon, what is Mabon? We talked about the equinox, right? Equinox, equinox, equi means equal, nox means night. So in Latin, the equinox is the one of 2 points in the year when the length of day and night are equal. And so what Mabon really represents is the balance of light and darkness in the universe. And it also, because everything that happens in nature, remember, this is like a fundamental principle, whether you study, Wicca or witchcraft or any of the the spiritual paths, really. Whatever's happening in nature is a mirror to you. So if we're talking about the equinox and the balance of light and dark and day and night, what this is showing to you as well is that you are made up of the balance of the two. You are equal parts day and night. By the way, when the books come out, I intend to have book parties and invite Sabbatical sisters. We're trying to figure out how that would work. Like, I don't know, do a little raffle where I fly 5 of you out of here for free to come stay. And I don't know. We're going to do something really fun when the books launch. So stay tuned for that. Okay, equal parts, light and dark, day and night. And it's mirroring that to you. So you are both of those things. And one of the things I want you to think about as we talk about flipping the hourglass and all these other things, and I'll start on that in a minute. It'll be really fun, don't you think? Really, really fun. One of the things, it's fun because the book editor is talking about flying me to different places to do openings or book signings around the country too. So I might end up in your neighborhood. You don't even know it, which would be really cool. The first book will be out next year, the aromatherapy book. I would love it. I would love it. And I'm sure the editor and the publisher and stuff are going to be looking for places to do book signings. So think about that. Okay. So I want you to think about, take a moment, close your eyes. Okay. Just close your eyes. And I want you to think about yourself. Like, imagine a line dividing you down the middle. And I want you to think about whether it makes sense that you are half light and half darkness. Or do you feel like right now, maybe you're more dark than light? And that's okay. That just is. You don't have to judge anything around that. Just, are you more light than dark? Or are you more dark than light? Are you in a more shadowy place right now? I'm hearing from a lot of people feeling depressed and anxious and stuff right now, and that's really normal ahead of these midpoints in the year to feel sort of like tense and anxious. Are you feeling it? Kind of like you're on the edge of your seat, but you're not sure why. Does that make sense to you? That's okay. So if you're feeling some of those like, trickier emotions or a little bit more down or your frequency is low, you might be a little bit more out of balance. Maybe you're feeling super, super, super light or equal to Sherry's point. So maybe you're like exactly right in the middle. What I love about what we're talking about right now is that you're taking stock of it. You know what I mean? Like you're able to be reflective enough to say, where am I? Yeah, I'm 50-50 right now. I feel kind of 50-50. But some people are feeling like they're a little bit more in the shadow. Some people are feeling like they're a little bit more in the light. And so, I want you to just take stock for a minute as we meditate and sort of soften into the space for ritual. Like, where are you right now? This week, is about a couple of different things. One of them is realizing that every year at this time, because it's a new beginning, we're coming upon the Celtic New Year, right, at Samhain. This is a time to look at yourself and to think about what parts of yourself are serving you really well right now. What parts of you do you want to keep? And then what parts of you might you want to reinvent? And part of the energy of this examination of yourself, of looking within and seeing whether you've got a good balance or it's too much one way or too much the other, is what needs to be shifted or changed or transformed within you to bring you to where you need to be in the new year. You need to take a higher, more evolved version of yourself into the new year. And our new year starts on November 1st, for all intents and purposes. There's a lot of energy right now. There's a sort of a burst of energy. And why do you think that is? Because this is the primary harvest. There are 3 harvests. First on Lammas on August 1st, second on Mabon, September 22nd, third on Samhain, October 31st. Our ancestors had to hustle right now to have the energy to get through these harvests. In most parts of the country, it's somewhat warm. There's still a lot of hours of daylight. The weather is supporting the harvest work that they have to do, and that's all because this agricultural cycle is still within us. It's still part of our energy field. And so our ancestors experienced an abundance of energy that they needed to bring all those crops in. And because tomorrow was the main harvest, they really had to use most of their energy on that day. Something tips right after it, right after tomorrow. Something tips where all of a sudden there's a little less energy. I see you, Misha. I'm holding space for you too. I actually thought about you tonight, Misha, when we were in our, I don't know if you saw our prayer circle that we did live tonight, but you actually crossed my mind while we were in that prayer circle. So now I know why. It's true. And Carolyn's saying farmers are hustling to do harvest right now here in the Midwest. It's true. So this still happens. Do you know what I mean? Just because you and I aren't working necessarily on an agricultural cycle, lots of our peers, our brothers and sisters in the field, even now, are farmers, and they're working on this cycle. Right after the 22nd, that energy wanes just a little bit. And then the third harvest that comes at Samhain, as you know, is really about taking off the fruit that died, pulling off all the dead fruit from the trees and letting the trees begin to rest. Remember, just like you can't rest if you've got a lot of shit happening and a lot of baggage, your trees can't rest if there's all this dead fruit hanging on them, because they're still pushing energy into that dead fruit. You got to pull the dead fruit off the trees to really give your trees a chance to rest. So that's what that final harvest is at Samhain. It's like, let me get all those dead figs off that tree so that that beautiful fig tree can bloom and blossom and fruit again next year. I'm glad you feel it, Misha. I see you. Okay, so think about manifestation, because this is still a period of manifestation. This next couple of days is still about looking and seeing what have you created, what became, and then really turning within and asking yourself what needs to shift or change. And that's where our ritual work is going to begin. I want you to light your candle if you have it. This is the Mabon candle. And the invocation on the candle says, I pause in this moment of balance between darkness and light. It is here I find myself and my courage. I light this candle and I call in fire to light my path as the darkness envelops me. I will not fear the shadows. As I flip my hourglass, I proclaim, let the new adventure begin. Amen. Aho, so it is. We're not there yet. We haven't flipped our hourglass yet, but we're lighting our candle. Okay. Kind of see the little flicker of the flame there. I want you to be able to see it. It's here. My candle's here. Okay. And so I want you to anoint both of your stones with your perfume. Just touching a little bit to my howlite, a little bit to my obsidian. You're not going to be able, you can't hurt those stones by anointing them with oil. So you're perfectly fine. And I want you to take a moment, whatever you feel is your light side, I want you to take the howlite and put that into your light hand. And whatever your shadow side is right now, I want you to take the obsidian and put that into your shadow hand. And then just a good deep cleansing breath. And I want you to notice, how does that light stone feel in your light hand? How does it feel? Does it feel soft? Does it feel comforting? And that's okay, Sherry. Blue howlite, still howlite. You didn't get stones with your kit? Did you let us know that? You should still let us know that. I will send you the stones. Anne has a dark and a light candle too. So you might send me a note to magic@sagegoddesssherry so I can send you the stones. I still want you to have them even though we're doing our ritual now. But howlite is howlite. So hold your blue howlite and just notice, how does it feel? How does the light hand feel? Maybe it feels soft. Maybe it feels warm. Amy says the light feels heavier than the dark. That's very interesting. Love it. Haley's using selenite and Apache tear. Fantastic. Deb says it feels lighter. Very good. Very, very good. Okay, and then just take a moment to notice the hand that's holding the darker stone. How does that feel? Mine feels, I think, even though it's a light stone, because obsidian is a very light stone, mine feels weighty. It feels cold. Love that. Full of promise, and the light side feels light. Now I want you to do something interesting. I want you to switch hands. You probably knew I was going to ask you to do that. I want you to switch hands. And do you feel anything different? Does your left hand hold the darkness differently than does your right hand hold the light differently? It's an interesting question, isn't it? In my hand, my right hand that was holding the dark stone really appreciated the transition from the dark to the light. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, you feel it too? Yeah, I hear you, that they both feel warm now. More balance. Heather, it's really funny. That's the exact word that came to my mind too. It's more balanced. Look at that. Okay, fun exercise. And what I will tell you is that's why I sent you these stones with this kit, because I knew you were going to have this experience. I want you to keep working with them. Try switching. Again, this is how you work with your crystals, girls. You know, part of my fear is people get stones, they don't work with them. And stones are meant to be worked with. They're like a little mini traveling playground, right? So part of what I want you to do is, especially when the stones are sent to you with such intention, which is why I want Sherry to get her set, I really want you to notice, like, okay, so Lisa's right, ma'at at play, right? Balance. Okay, and Elisa asks, is it Elisa or Alyssa? Asks a really important question. What if they don't work in either hand, but they do together? Love that. I love that so much. So that I'm kind of following your guidance and putting them both in my hands together, just checking in to see how that feels. I like it. I really like that. It's funny, my right hand is longing to have that light stone back. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I hear you, Kaylee. It's the exact same thing for me, that my right hand is holding that light stone better. Love that. So just checking in with yourself. Now my hands are sort of like done. I'm ready to put them down. If you want to keep holding them, you can totally do that. My hands sort of wanted me to let them go. Well, Haley, that's a fantastic sign. She's saying no matter how she switches them, she feels balanced. That's like a life goal. That's a life goal. Okay. So We have anointed, we have worked with our stones. And so I'm going to read you my Mabon invocation. I wrote this Mabon invocation, I want to say 2 years ago. And it's going in my book of blessings. I love it so much. And I've never been able to best it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'll write a new invocation if I think I have something better to say around a holiday. But I have to tell you, I don't think I can do it any better than this. So close your eyes and just listen while I read to you about Mabon. This is our invocation. We turn to the west today, and Mother Ocean says, yes. Her waves crash upon the shore, and she is ready to receive you and take from you all the burdens you shall no longer carry into the seasons of acceptance and rest. We turn to the west today, and Mother Ocean says, now. Her waters still at midday as Father Sun casts his beams of light upon her and caresses her like a tender lover. She is ready to teach you how to be still and receive so that you hear the messages of your elders now as the veil thins. We turn to the west today, and Mother Ocean says, come. Her deep blue majesty is an open invitation to create better flow in your life. She holds the key to creation, manifestation, and your rebirth. And she can offer you the path, the lightness of being, the deep permission to just be now, because your work of the year is done. We turn to the west today, and Mother Ocean says, let go. Her vast expanse and power can hold the things that weigh you down, and your worries can sink to her bottom, float to her edges, while you experience her embrace. She sees your fear, and she washes it away so that you can live in pure, radiant joy and peace. Mother Ocean has been waiting for you. The guardians and gatekeepers of the West greet you today with open arms. Yes, now, come, let go, your work is done. So the season of balance, acceptance, stillness, and release begins. Makes me want to cry. Amen, aho, and so it is. We just turned the wheel together, you and me. So it is. So it is. Okay. So good. So good, as I always say. So good. I love you. I love that I have people like you to share this moment with. It requires intimacy, you know? It's like, I don't like to share moments like this with the whole group, you know? Because it's special, it's tender, it's, and to Lisa's point, it's conscious. Like we are very, you and me right now are very conscious of where we are right now. We're not thinking about yesterday, we're not thinking about next year, we're not even thinking about tomorrow. We're conscious that something really magical is happening in our field this minute, in the next 24 hours. And we just said yes to it together, which is really special. Truly special, so thank you for being. Okay. So one of the things we have to balance, oh, I absolutely will share, Sherry. Just send me a private message on Facebook, Sherry, and I will attach it for you. Or just ping me and remind me to post it in the Sabbatical group, will you? I'm happy to share that one with you. Pardon the siren. One of the women who works here takes really good care of me, especially when I don't feel good. And so I just finished my tea and I'm like, what? What's in my tea? And then I realized it's ginger. She put crystallized ginger in my tea. Let me just tell you, I cannot wait to eat that thing when I'm done with you. It's been steeping in my tea for like an hour and a half. It's gonna be so good. Okay. The other thing that you should have gotten with your kit is this. Did you all get this? My beautiful Mabon postcard. And it's a quote. It is a quote from Dante's Inferno. I used to teach the history of Western civilization to college students. Didn't you know? And I always taught Dante's Inferno in that class. And so this is the opening canto of Dante's Inferno, which is so much about Mabon. It's funny how like all the parts of my life intersected. But my students used to say, I don't understand what this means. Because what Dante is saying in that opening canto, I'm glad you liked it, Karen. What Dante's saying in that opening canto is that he got to the halfway point of his life and realized he'd lost his way. He found himself in the middle of a dark forest. So it says, in the middle of the journey of our life, I came to myself. This is a weird translation. It's not my favorite translation, but it is a translation from the Italian. In the Italian, it makes more sense. I came to myself astray in a dark wood where the direct way was lost. It is a hard thing to speak of, how wild, harsh, and impenetrable that wood was, so that thinking of it recreates the fear. And so what he's talking about is there's this point midway in your life. I think this is around the age of 50, but it's a Saturn return usually, so it's around 50 to 60. So this happens midway in the life. It happens midway in the year where we lose our footing a little bit. You know, it's like, who am I? I'm not who I was. I'm not who I am about to become. I'm in this midway point, and I don't know exactly. And one of the things on Mabon evening, as we gather here tonight in ritual, one of the things I really want you to think about is trying to embrace that not knowingness of where you are. Like, it may feel like you can't find your footing. You know what I mean? And I've been there several times. I mean, definitely at 29, my first Saturn return was big for me, right? And I definitely was there. It happened to me again after I had kids. I had postpartum depression really bad. And so I was sort of like, who am I? Am I just a mom? Am I just a wife? Am I still smart? Like all those things. I had it probably in the early part of Sage Goddess, like, who am I? What is this? You know, what am I making? What am I creating or whatever? And so it's really okay to go through these places and times in your life. And energetically in the middle of the year, it happens to all of us. So you may not be going through that yourself right now, but just know that you can probably be a good steward for other people who are going through it right now too. And by the way, even if you're not going through it, your partner might. You know, I've kind of been through points with Dave where he was going through this, and then he would be with me at points where I was going through it, and we can learn how to do that for each other. And you know what? Sometimes it's really hard to articulate. You guys are so smart and conscious and aware that you know when you're going through it. Like, look at the feed right now. It's like, I'm feeling it right now. I felt that way in my 50s. It's happening right now. It happened to me at 47. Like, how conscious and aware and awake and alive are you to know that? There are people in your life who don't know what the hell's going on, but they're there, and they really could use like a shepherd or a guide to be able to say, hey, I think you're one of those midway points that Dante talks about, like when it feels like you're in a dark forest and you don't know where to go. And just trust, you got to keep on walking and moving through. Absolutely, Haley. Haley's saying loss can trigger it too. And it comes and goes, right? Like one day you're fine, the next day you're not. Maybe that afternoon you're fine, maybe that evening you're not. And it's okay. We're all here to help and support each other through those times. But this ritual, Mabon, is really about that. So let's talk about the hero's journey. And time goes by so fast with you guys. It's like I need to push pause for just a minute so I can talk more, and it doesn't go by. It doesn't go by so fast. Let's talk about the hero's journey for just a second. No, it's not. You know, you're not alone. Yeah, I will tell you, Lisa, that my Saturn return was not the beginning of my spiritual path, but it was the fast track for it. So if you haven't had your first Saturn return, which happens at 29, just know you're in for an adventure. We'll all be here to support you. Yeah, I mean, all kinds of things trigger it. Loss triggers it. Astrological events trigger it, and so forth. The hero's journey. So the hero's journey looks just like this hourglass, okay? And the hero's journey really happens right here in this first half of it. And so it begins with you hearing a call. And the call is to something greater than where you are or who you are right now. And so some people in spiritual terms call this ascension, like they're being called to ascend to a higher purpose, to connect to a higher self, or to connect with a new level of their, guide complex or their guide structure. Because I think you have different guides who kind of shepherd you through different parts of your journey, if that makes sense. So the top of the hourglass is you hearing the call and you saying yes. Okay. A lot of people hear the call. Think about people in your life hearing the call, right? Like they're supposed to, I don't know, they're supposed to go somewhere or do something or start a business or leave their marriage or whatever it is, right? They're hearing a call. There's like a little tiny voice in the back of their mind going, you should do this other thing. You should leave that person or you should start that thing. Whatever it is, they're hearing a call. Not everyone says yes. And that is what separates the hero from the non-hero, according to Joseph Campbell. So the hero is somebody who hears a call and answers it. By the way, one of your responsibilities, especially as a good spiritual person, is to not get in the way of that. If somebody's hearing a call and they're trying to answer it, you got to say, he's on the hero's journey or she's on the hero's journey, you know, how can I support you? What can I do? But not necessarily to get in the way of that. So the hero answers the call and sets out by himself. I'm not saying you have to go places alone, but I am saying that the hero's journey is the journey of the hero alone. The hero encounters mentors, support figures, people who support the hero, but the hero is fundamentally taking this journey by himself or herself, okay? So now you're answering the call and you're out and you're wondering, what have I done? And you're thinking, I may need help, right? I do think you have to say yes. I don't think the universe necessarily drags you. The universe can put you into positions that make it more difficult to say no. You know, if this is your soul path and the universe is like, ding dong, we really need Sherry to do this thing. And Sherry's not saying yes. So let's just make it a little more tempting for Sherry to say yes to this thing, right? Okay. So yes, I'm here. I'm on the journey. I think I need support. And so what the universe does is it sends a guide. Think Obi-Wan Kenobi for Luke Skywalker. He met Obi-Wan pretty early into that first episode. Do you remember? It's not episode 1. What is it, episode 9 or whatever? But the first movie that you and I saw in 1978, I'm that old that I actually saw it in the theater. Luke Skywalker meets Obi-Wan Kenobi and begins to, it's episode 4, that's right, thank you, begins to receive guidance. Athena actually was the guide in the hero's journey of Odysseus, right? If you know about the Iliad and the Odyssey, right? Sarah, thank you for that. So think about the guides that you meet, and you're getting, all of a sudden the hero says, okay, now I think I can do it. I've got support, I've got wisdom. The hero gets a little more confident, okay? Hero does not yet realize the guide cannot fight the battle for him. And the guide doesn't necessarily tell the hero that he's going to have to do it alone, okay? Because the guide's job here is to inspire and build confidence, to bring wisdom and support, but not to say, hey, by the way, shit's going to hit the fan and I won't be there. I can't save you. I appreciate you guys. I love being your guide, actually. I take it really seriously to heart, and I love you guys so much. And here's the thing, you know what? I don't have all the answers. I have a lot of experience. I don't have all the answers. I have a big heart and a lot of tools. But what I love is how much and to what extent you guys really step up and into the work and really lean in and you do it. And the benefit of that is you're going to live a longer, healthier life because you're doing the work of your soul. And, you know, and by not pushing that off and postponing it and denying it and all that stuff, you're going to live a longer and healthier life and be a better partner to your people, you know, and guide to your own children and your own tribes. Okay, so here you are. Guy hasn't told you shit's going to hit the fan, but shit's going to hit the fan, okay? And so, but now you're ready. You feel a little more confident. You're like, you know what? I have an Obi-Wan. I'm not that scared. I'm going to keep going. And so you keep going, and then you hit the point of conflict, okay? There has to be conflict because without some sort of paradigm shifter, we don't have progress. I mean, think about if Luke did not have the encounter with Darth Vader. Think about in the Lord of the Rings if there was no, contact with, the eye and having to go through all of that. Think about how these epics would run if there was no moment of conflict, because the moments of conflict are the crucibles, right? I mean, the crucibles are where everything that you are gets put to the test under fire, right? And then you emerge some stronger, more valuable form of yourself from the crucible. So the crucible happens 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, the guide is not there, not when it happens. Sometimes we have what we used to call in English literature days, the deus ex machina. Have you heard of this? Which is God out of the machine. What it means is all of a sudden God emerges to save you. Okay, so sometimes the guide shows up right at the key moment of the conflict to save you or to redirect you or whatever. Sometimes that happens. But now you're confident because you have met the conflict. Most of the times you're going to succeed. Your mentor sort of swoops in right at the last moment and says, well done. You met the challenge, you stepped up, you rose to the challenge, you overcame it. Look how strong and powerful you are now. Look how much you learned and how much you developed. And so the hero usually returns to the place of origin, bringing back that wisdom to his tribe to say, I went out, I was afraid, I encountered a mentor or a guide, I learned so much, I faced the challenge, I succeeded, I overcame, and now I'm back here to tell you you can do it too. And then the hero has a choice, which is where we are right now. So now the hero has a choice. The hero has to say, I can be really comfortable right here. I did all that good work. Look at that. Look how well I did. Or I can tell the universe. You see where I'm going? I can tell the universe I'm ready to do it again. Now, I really want you to think about this when we flip the hourglass together tonight. And I only want you to do it if you feel like you're ready, okay? Because I truly believe, by the way, I'm not keeping up with the feed so closely because I'm trying to focus on what I'm telling you, but I'm sure there's important things going on. I just don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. I really believe, and if you were to ask my students at university and the people I've done this ritual with before, if you were to ask them, they believe too. You should hear the stories that came after we flipped the hourglass every time I've done it, okay? I really believe that flipping this thing is a sign to the universe that you're ready to go for another ride. You're ready to go for another ride. You're ready to step out, okay? So, and I'll go back through and cycle through again if you miss parts of this, so you can go back and watch the recording. Flipping this means you're ready to step out, to forge a little bit of a new path, maybe not an entirely new path, but something new and different, okay? That you're ready to meet a new mentor or a new guide. You're ready to overcome any challenges. I love that Trixie's like, fuck yeah. Flipping this hourglass means yes. It means, yes, universe, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm here to be on this ride. And I know that you're not going to let me down. I know you're going to send me the right person with the right wisdom to show me the right way. And I know that even though I may have to face that conflict by myself, I'm going to overcome it and be successful. And then when it's done, I'm going to be able to look at everybody around me and say, I did that. That was me. And I did it by myself. I had guidance, I had support. That was just me. And I said yes to that. And I'll say yes again. And so, my sisters, at 7:22 p.m. on Mabon Eve, Pacific time, I ask you, are you ready? I think it's a rhetorical question. I think you are so ready. I think you are so ready to do it. Are you ready? All you have to do is say yes. I feel like Glenda the Good Witch. All you have to do is say yes. Say yes, say yes, say yes. Okay, ready? So on 3, we are going to, there's a little bit of a delay between you and me, but you do it. On 3, we're going to flip our hourglass. We're going to say, yes, universe, we are ready. 1. Say it with me. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2. Let's do it. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. I am ready. And so it begins. I can hear the sand. I can hear it. I can hear it. Oh, it's so good. All right, girls. So it begins. My heart's beating really fast too. It's like, the anticipation. Because you know what? You have to know that you're not here to say no. You're not here to say no. This is no coincidence. I mean, you and me sitting here having this conversation on this sacred day at this important time, not a coincidence. This is the moment. This is the hour, right? This is it. I love it. Anne blew her intentions into it too. I love that so much. To a good journey. To a good journey. Cheers. Cheers to a good journey. I think that's the best you can hope for. A good journey. A journey where you are brave and strong. A journey where you feel well guided and supported. A journey where your guides show up for you at just the perfect moment and remind you throughout the way that you are not alone. To me, that's a good journey. A good journey doesn't imply that, it's all going to be safe and easy. To me, that's not a good journey. To me, a good journey is I will be safe at the end of the day. I will learn a lot. I will encounter new, beautiful teachers in my life, and I will find my way. I will find my way. Okay. So now that we have done that work, I want to do a brief blessing. I want to do a brief blessing for us before we close the circle. And so, Great Spirit, creator of all beings, the one from whom we came, the one to whom we shall return. Great Spirit, tonight we call upon you for strength and encouragement as we have all flipped this hourglass and said yes to the adventure. I ask that you bless every woman in this circle with strength, with health. Every woman in this circle, Great Spirit, I ask that you bless her with strength and health, financial prosperity, love and happiness in all of her relationships, I ask that you bless her with peace in her heart and her mind and her soul so that she can sleep well at night and rest. I ask that you bless her on this journey with laughter and with joy, that if she cries tears, they're more often tears of joy than of sorrow. I ask that you bless her with a sense of fulfillment and completion and purpose. I ask that you bless her with knowledge and wisdom. I ask that at every point on her journey, Great Spirit, that she be met with the exact people, the exact tools, the exact support, every single thing she needs to complete that journey well, so that she won't even have to ask for it, that those things will just appear for her on her path, and that entire process of receiving exactly what she needs at just the perfect time will reinforce her faith and her trust. I ask that she be given soft companionship on this journey and this path, so that she never has a moment where she turns around and finds herself feeling alone. I ask for comfort, so that the path is comfortable and as easy as it can be for her, to allow her to still learn. And I'm sure I asked for this already, but I asked for her safety and her protection. May she be surrounded by white light and gentle beings, loving guides all along the way. And that anything that is not for her highest good be sent in the opposite direction, be sent away from her and down into the center of the earth. Attract only to her love and light and ease and flow. I ask these things for each woman in this circle for the entire year ahead, beginning now. Take her on the adventure of her life, Great Spirit, but do so in the ways that we have asked. In alignment with the highest good of all, we ask these things with humility, with grace, and with deep gratitude. And so together we say, Amen, aho, and so it is. Amen, aho, so it is. And with that, I'm going to blow out my Mabon candle. You can blow yours out too. Amen, aho, so it is. I hope you enjoyed this ritual tonight. I have to tell you, my heart is full. It's full in a way it hasn't been in a long time. My heart is full. And I wasn't even feeling all that great 2 hours ago, and I feel like I'm 100% right now. So thank you. It just feels like a full heart, full mind, full body, full spirit. Thank you. So my heart is wide open. I'm so glad yours is too. Thank you for letting me bring this to you, and thank you for showing up to it, and thank you for saying yes to whatever this ride is going to bring for you. It's going to be something very special. And I felt like it was really channeling something important with that prayer. So may all of that come to pass for you, that you feel loved and protected and safe and held, and that you have everything you need before you even have to think about it or ask for it. That's my prayer for you. Yay! So much more to come. So stay tuned. I hope you are doing the drum journey. Does anybody not know what the drum journey is about tomorrow? There is an extra cost for it, but let me tell you, it is the best $40 you will spend. It's $40 for what's really 2.5 hours of the most intense, fast-paced, transformational drum journey of your life. No joke. So if you have not registered, you still can. And I would encourage you to do it. And it is recorded, so even if you can't make it live, you can watch it afterward, which is very cool. I'll post the link in the group just in case you don't have it. So if you're joining us for that, I will see you tomorrow night. And then Friday, I believe we have Sanctum, if I'm remembering correctly. And then next week we meet 2 more times, one of which is for the Black Moon, which is very exciting on Friday, that Black Moon. So for tomorrow night, you don't have to bring anything. If you're coming in person, you just need to have a candle. The Mabon candle is perfect, and you can light that one. If you have the Spirit Guides candle, that's the one I always burn. If you have Elder Council, you should bring that. I have tools for people who are going to be here in the shop in person tomorrow, so you don't have to really bring anything. I will tell you this, you can charge gemstones during Drum Journey. So if you want to take something into the journey with you to charge, like a piece of quartz, it's nice because you can always charge and program quartz. And quartz can actually hold memories of experiences like that. So that's a very powerful tool to use. Yeah, that's funny, Cindy. Maybe they wanted to make it easier on you. I don't know. Okay. Hopefully your Drum Journey talisman set 80 will come tomorrow. If not, I recommend quartz and Elder Council. You can also use obsidian. You could use the Mabon tools, the 2 stones, the obsidian and the howlite. You do want to be comfortable. So I do recommend, I have lots of, like here in the shop, I have lots of pillows and blankets if you're going to be here in person. I would bring extra. You want to probably have a yoga mat so that you're, you don't want to feel discomfort because you want to be able to focus all of your energy on the drum. So, if you're somebody who really likes to cuddle and snuggle and get really warm, I would have extra blankets and a yoga mat and probably a nice pillow for under your head. Sherry's going to do it in her yoga room with all of her stones. I think it's a really fantastic idea. Yeah, bring your big old honkin' citrine, Lisa. We'll charge it up during that ritual for sure, during that journey. So good. Yeah, Haley's using Shaman Song, Unearthed, and Vesta. I can't really tell you anything better than that, honestly. Shaman Song is good for any kind of journey. Portal, Kaylee, if you used Portal, Shaman Song, and Elder Council together, that's like the power pack trio. Doesn't get any more powerful than that. Shaman Song, Elder Council, and Portal. I have to say is like the best of the best of the best. I should have known you guys were well prepared. I will put the link in the group for you anyway. So I will see you hopefully tomorrow night with Elaine. Unforgettable. If you haven't heard her call the 4 directions, as I tell you all the time, it's a life-changing experience. So good. Okay, so if you want to, like I said, if you want to sign up, if you go actually onto Facebook, you know how at the top there's a search box where you can type and search for things, like in the main Facebook. If you just type in Drum Journey or Mabon Drum Journey and hit return, it's going to pull up the link to go to Eventbrite and get a ticket. But I'll post the link in the group as well. All right. Good night, everybody. I will see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your evening. If you want to charge your stones tonight, I highly recommend it. Mabon has its own energy, and we're past the eclipse period. So put some of your stones outside to charge them up in this Mabon window. I think you'll be glad that you did. So here we go into the darker half. I'll see you guys tomorrow.